first thing I noticed was the smell. It wasn't the usual mix of rubber mats, sweat, and that faint chemical tang of cleaning spray. This was different, thick, metallic, almost sweet in a way that made the back of my throat tighten. It clung to the air like humidity before a storm, subtle at first, then impossible to ignore. I remember standing just inside the gym doors, key card still in my hand, wondering if I was imagining it. "Hello," I called out. My voice echoed too far. That should have been my first sign. I've been going to Iron Forge Fitness for years. It's one of those 24-hour places tucked into a half-dead strip mall, no windows, flickering neon sign, the kind of gym that survives on night owls, insomniacs, and people who don't want to be seen. I preferred it that way. Fewer people meant fewer distractions, fewer interruptions. At 2:17 a.m., the place was usually mine. Except that night, it didn't feel empty. The overhead lights buzzed softly as I walked in, scanning my card. The front desk was unmanned, as usual. A half-empty water bottle sat beside the computer, condensation still clinging to the plastic. Someone had been here recently, probably just stepped out, I muttered, more to convince myself than anything else. I dropped my bag near the lockers and stretched, trying to shake the unease creeping up my spine. The smell lingered, faint but persistent, metallic, like blood. I turned toward the weight floor. That's when I heard it, a soft clank. Not loud, not dramatic, just the unmistakable sound of a weight plate settling against metal. I froze. "Hey," I called again. No answer. The gym stretched out in front of me. Rows of machines, benches, squat racks, all sitting in perfect stillness under harsh fluorescent lights. Shadows pooled beneath the equipment, too dark, too thick. Another sound, this time closer. Clink, like someone adjusting a barbell. My pulse quickened. I wasn't scared yet, not exactly. More alert, curious. "Dude, you scared the hell out of me," I said, forcing a laugh as I stepped forward. "Didn't know anyone else was—" I stopped mid-sentence. The squat rack at the far end of the room was occupied. At least, I thought it was. A barbell rested on the hooks, loaded unevenly. 2 plates on one side, none on the other. It tilted at an unnatural angle, like it had been abandoned mid-set. And beneath it, something moved. Not a person, not exactly. It was low to the ground, hunched, partially hidden by the rack's frame. I couldn't make out details, just the suggestion of a shape shifting in the shadows. "Hey, you okay?" I asked. No response. I took a step closer. The smell hit me stronger now. Metallic, rotting, wrong. "Seriously, man, if you need help." The barbell shifted, not dropped, not fallen. Lifted, slowly, deliberately. My breath caught. The unevenly loaded bar rose off the hooks, tilting dangerously, yet somehow controlled. The side with the plates dipped low, then corrected, like whatever was holding it didn't follow the rules of balance. There was no one standing there, no arms, no hands, just the bar, floating. For a second, my brain tried to make sense of it. Wires, maybe? Some kind of prank? But there was nothing. No rigging. No explanation. The bar lifted higher. Then it slammed down. The crash echoed through the gym like a gunshot. I flinched back, heart hammering. And the thing beneath the rack, it unfolded. That's the only word I have for it. It rose up, joints bending the wrong way, limbs stretching too long, too thin. It didn't stand so much as extend, like it was peeling itself off the floor. I finally saw its face, or where its face should have been. There was skin, pale, stretched tight over something that moved beneath it. No eyes, no mouth, just a smooth, shifting surface that pulsed faintly like it was breathing. I couldn't move. It tilted its head, or the top part of its body, toward me. And then I heard it, a voice, my voice. "Hey," it said, perfectly mimicking my tone from earlier. Cold flooded my chest. "No," I whispered, backing up. "No, no, no." It took a step forward. Its foot, if it was a foot, hit the ground with a wet, heavy sound. "Hey," it repeated, closer this time. I turned and ran. My shoes slipped slightly on the rubber flooring as I sprinted toward the exit. Behind me, I heard it moving, fast, uneven, something dragging, something slapping against the floor. "Dude, you scared the hell out of me," it called. My voice, my exact words. It was learning. I reached the front desk, grabbed my bag without stopping, and bolted for the door. My hand shook so badly I almost dropped my key card. "Didn't know anyone else was—" The voice was right behind me now. I swiped the card. The door clicked. I yanked it open and stumbled out into the cool night air, slamming it shut behind me. For a second, I just stood there, gasping, staring through the glass. The gym lights buzzed quietly. Everything inside was still, empty. The squat rack stood untouched, the barbell resting neatly on both hooks, evenly loaded, like nothing had ever happened. No movement, no figure, no smell. I let out a shaky breath. "Okay," I whispered. "Okay, you're fine. You're fine." Then I saw it, the condensation on the glass door. Finger marks from the inside. Long, too long. And slowly, very slowly, a shape pressed against the other side. Not fully visible, just enough to distort the reflection. And then, "Hey," it whispered, right against the glass. I didn't go back to Iron Forge after that. They closed down 3 months later. Officially, it was due to structural issues. Unofficially, a cleaning crew found something in the locker room drains. Something that didn't belong to any animal or any person. The second story isn't mine. I wish it was, because if it were, I could convince myself I imagined it. But this one came from a guy named Marcus, a personal trainer I met at a different gym. Big guy, confident, the kind of person who doesn't scare easily. He told me this after hours, when the place was nearly empty. At first he laughed it off. Then he stopped laughing. "It started with the cameras," he said. Marcus worked the late shift at a high-end fitness center downtown. The kind with glass walls, polished floors, and security systems everywhere. Cameras in every corner, except the locker rooms, obviously. One night, around closing time, the front desk manager asked him to check something. "One of the cameras is glitching," she told him. "Weight room, back corner. It keeps cutting out." Marcus shrugged. "So call IT. They're not answering. Just go take a look. Make sure nothing's wrong." He headed back to the weight room, wiping sweat from his forehead. It had been a long shift. The last of the members had already left. Or so he thought. The back corner was quiet. Too quiet. The camera in question was mounted high on the wall, angled toward a row of benches and dumbbells. Marcus looked up at it. The small red light blinked steadily. Didn't look broken. He pulled out his phone and called the front desk. "Yeah, it looks fine to me," he said. "Lights on, no damage." "Marcus," the manager interrupted. Her voice sounded off tight. "You're in the back corner, right?" "Yeah." "Okay, don't move." He frowned. "What?" "Just don't move." A pause. Then she said very quietly, "There's someone standing behind you." Marcus turned. Nothing. Empty benches. Mirrors reflecting rows of equipment. "No, there's not," he said, a little annoyed. "Marcus," she whispered, "I'm looking at the camera feed right now." His stomach dropped. "And you're not alone." He slowly turned back toward the camera. It blinked. Red. Steady. "I don't see anyone," he said. "Because they're not there anymore," she replied. The line went silent. Marcus swallowed. "What do you mean, not there anymore?" "I mean," she said, voice shaking now, "they were standing right behind you, like inches away." And then the feed glitched. A cold sweat broke out across his back. "Glitched? How?" "It skipped," she said, like a frame drop. "And when it came back, you were alone again." Marcus forced a laugh. "Okay, that's not funny." "I'm not joking." He glanced around the room again. Still nothing. "Maybe it was a reflection or something," he said. "No," she replied. "Marcus, it wasn't a reflection." Silence stretched between them. Then a faint sound. Right behind him. Breathing. Marcus froze. Slow. Deliberate. Too close. He felt it against the back of his neck. Warm, wet. He didn't turn this time. "Do you still see anything?" he asked, barely moving his lips. "No," the manager said. "The camera shows just you." The breathing continued. In his ear now. "Marcus," it whispered. His name, not through the phone, not from the front desk. Right behind him. He spun around. Nothing. No breathing. No heartbeat. He was dead. Paramedics arrived within minutes. They confirmed it. Dead. But that wasn't the strangest part. It was what happened next. As they prepared to move the body, one of the paramedics frowned. "Wait," he said. "Did you see that?" "See what?" He pointed at the man's face. For a split second, his eyes moved, just slightly, tracking something. The paramedic leaned closer. "Sir?" he said. No response. The eyes shifted again, looking past him, toward the mirrors, lining the wall. Everyone turned, and in the reflection, they saw it, not the man. Something behind him, different for each person. Claire said it looked like a shadow peeling away from his body. The staff member said it looked like a second figure crouched low, unfolding. One of the paramedics swore it looked directly at him and smiled. And then it was gone. The reflection returned to normal. Just a dead man on the floor. Nothing else. They checked the security footage later. The man had entered the gym at 4:52 a.m. He walked normally. Signed in, stretched. Everything seemed fine. At 4:58, he stepped onto the treadmill. At 4:59, he stopped moving completely and stayed that way for over 30 minutes until he collapsed. The coroner's report couldn't explain it. No signs of trauma. No drugs, no underlying conditions. Official cause of death, unknown. But Claire swears to this day that she saw something else. "People think it was just a medical thing," she said. "A stroke, maybe, or his heart." She shook her head. "No." She looked at the mirrors. "They didn't see what I saw." I asked her what that was. She hesitated, then said very quietly, "It was using him." I still go to the gym, different one, different hours. But sometimes, late at night, when the place gets quiet, I catch myself checking the mirrors, just in case. Because once you've seen something that shouldn't exist, you start to wonder how often it's been there, watching, waiting, perfectly still, until you notice